Okay, I think I'm on. Looks like it. Got that. I'm a little early, making sure I know what I'm doing. Oops. Okay. Perfect. I'm just going to wait here for a few moments. Let people find the video. Takes it a little time. I had some complex issues happen. I had some issues happen last night when I posted my video announcement, and then I couldn't see on Facebook the event anymore. So I apologize about that. The other thing I want to learn doing these is that I can tell people are watching, but sadly I can't see who you are. So, yeah, say hi in the comments. Let me know you're here. Would love to chat with you through this. Tonight we're doing Tough Love Tuesday, and it's filled with lots of love. And we're talking about mindfulness, mindlessness. So, um, again, just let some folks find us, give them a chance to hop on here. I had a pretty good day. I'm right in the middle of launching a book. The book's launching next Tuesday, and I got some wonderful news about my co author, Ingrid. We hadn't been talking about it publicly, but she has been battling cancer, and so finding out today that her breast cancer has receded, and she's doing well, and recovering really well was a phenomenal gift for me today. So, what thoughts, what things have happened for you today? I'm sure there's more good out there in the world today. And yeah, so that was my big news for today was the wonderful health of my book partner, Ingrid. So again, if you're here, I can see that you're here, but I can't see who you are. And I would love it if you said hi in the chat column and just said, hey, Trace, I'm here. While we're doing this. And then always, if you have a question, and even after the video stream is done on recording, I will always go back and I'll see if I can answer any questions that you may have. So tonight is again Tuesdays. I'll be here every Tuesday evening from now on at 7 o'clock for Tough Love Tuesday. And I am talking about the fact that we just cannot go through our life mindless anymore in regards to our health. And if we think that we can be mindless about the food we put in our body and our lifestyle and continue to live a mindless lifestyle, we're really kidding ourselves. I I'm one of those people. So that on my story here was I didn't want to have to think about my food. I did not want to have to think about what I had to do for my health. I didn't want to have to worry about what I bought at the store. Um, I figured I should just be able to have what's at the store and not worry about what might happen in my body. I was also, hi Dave. I was also, yeah, so if you're here, please say hi in the comments. It's really, really fun. So I want to make it really interactive. So, anyway, when I realized though, when I was like that, it's just because I just didn't know. I didn't know how to be mindful about what I ate, really mindful about what I was doing. Um, even in my day to day life, I would just mindlessly go through the day. I go to work, I get my job done, I eat, I go home. I had this whole thing, this whole regimen of what I did, but it was definitely not in a mindful manner. So, in my book, I thought I'd share a little bit on this one chapter that I wrote, and it's called Time for an Alignment, the Path of Mindfulness. And in it, I pulled out of the dictionary the definition of mindful. So the definition of mindful is the quality or state of being mindful, the practice of maintaining a non-judgmental state of heightened or complete awareness of one's thoughts, emotions, or experiences on a moment-to-moment basis. Also, it's a state of awareness, meaning aware of something that may be important. So being present with what we're doing, right? And mindlessness, which again was where I was mindless. I didn't want to have to think about what I ate, didn't want to have to think about how to stay healthy. I didn't want to, and I should just didn't think I had to, right? But so definition of mindless is marked by a lack of mind or consciousness, like a mindless sleep, marked by or displaying no use of the powers of the intellect, mindless violence, requiring little attention or thought, especially. So, not intellectually challenging or stimulating the mind. So, mindless work, mindless movie. And lastly, not mindful, heedless, with basically mindless of the consequences. So, tonight again, I wanted to talk to you about the mindless consequences that we have towards our bodies and even in other areas of our lives. So we can think about this even in our careers, our finances. We can think about it in our relationships, our joy, our creativity, right? So we can be, hey, Nadia, we can be mindless in all of these areas. And so if we look at what's going on in the world today and the fact that majority, especially in America, and even, Ingrid, my co-author, she's in Santiago, Chile, we are having a serious problem with illnesses caused by our mindless actions of how we care for this priceless, body that takes care of us and takes us through the days because we're mindless. We are, if you look back to your childhood, whatever, age you might be, but most of us have been around since TV started. I'm 53, I'll be 54 here coming up, and I grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons. I grew up, with the cereal starting, and we had to have the cereal, and the kids had to have, whatever it was, and we started getting programmed by television and really great marketing to tell us what we should do, and it's something that if you can notice is happening when you're watching TV, when you're watching a show, ask yourself, and this is something that really helped me, ask yourself, is this true? So say if we, yeah, I was there with you. It's so true, Nadia. I was there, I promise you. So if what we're seeing on TV, and I make an example in the book as well, I saw this commercial and it's a happy family in the morning and they're going to have their 100% nutrition cereal. And I would, in the past, mindlessly go and just buy it. I would trust that. And so I went and I thought, I'm going to go look up this cereal on online and see if what it says is true. And I never wanted to read labels. I never wanted to have to do that. I felt I was already busy enough. Why should I have to worry about it? If it says it on the front of the box, I should be good. Well, we can't do that. We have to be very mindful of it. And so I turned, to the internet there, and I found out that this 100% nutrition cereal was loaded with sugar, and so as I started to become more mindful of what not only I was putting in my body, but what was being sold to me, in TV, in ads, all of those things. I was like, is this really right for my body? And I actually got pretty upset about it because I felt like I've been basically misled all these years and programmed to be mindless and just trust what marketing tells me, and that I should be having milk or I should be having, all these foods deemed healthy, which for me were horrible for me. And it made it so that I was so sick, felt awful most of my life, and I'd show up smiling, but feeling horrible inside. So mindlessly eating, mindlessly picking food and not paying attention to what we feel in our body. If we're sluggish, we should be asking why. If we're being put on um, a medication for because we have high sodium levels in our body, if we're being put on medication because we have too much sugar floating around in our blood, that's a clue, and your body is crying out and saying, hey, I'm giving you actual data that something's wrong. And we need to take care of this body and say, hey, okay, why am I having these results? Why am I having blood work coming back? Why am I being treated for a chronic illness that is caused by lifestyle? So it can be a really um, eye-opening and a brutal smack in the head. Like with me, it was like a 2x4. Finding out I was pre-diabetic, and yes, Nadia, snacking. Yes, you're not alone. So, but yeah, mindless snacking. Are you really hungry? Why are you snacking? And we talked a little bit about this last Tuesday, was how we can use food for comfort if we're feeling victimized by something. It's just part of who we are, I think, as humans, that we seek outside for help. We seek outside for comfort and food because when we are growing up, because of relationships with it, we can pick food. So stepping further into it, we want to though say, hey, why am I hungry? Am I hungry? Is my stomach really telling me I'm hungry? Um, One thing that would happen to me, and I don't know if you have any symptoms like this, but I would find that I would eat and then my stomach would hurt and it would be really bloated, and I didn't put it I just didn't connect it that it could have been what I was eating. And you know, so I would eat and I would feel horrible. And then I would eat on to solve that. So I would eat something else. And so I would try to cover up the result of what I ate last with more food, with something more to eat. There's I don't know if anyone else has this one. You eat something sweet, then all of a sudden you want something salty. If you want to have something salty, you also want something sweet. So really paying attention to that. So, um, what ways, I know I see Nadia, you mentioned mindless eating and snacking. Anybody else out there, put in what's something that you have a challenge with, and we can talk about it. Mindless snacking, yeah, Nadia, it's the asking, is it just a habit, something to do? Um, One thing that's helped me with the snacking is if I want something to snack on, I'm not one to say to deprive anyone of anything, right? But if we say, okay, I'm going to have a snack. Um, oh, okay. Okay, Nadia, she loves cheese. Yes, me too. I bloat with certain cheeses. So if you want some cheese, but bloating is a sign that maybe you shouldn't have cheese. But if you want it, that's where, again, and I talk about in the book, is mindful eating. And mindful eating can be as simple as just slowing down and savoring every bite, really appreciating every bite. So you take it into your mouth and you love that cheese and just savor it and let your mind have more satisfaction from fewer bites. So what can happen is we take 5 to 6 bites before we even realize that, when we think we've only had one. One of my big jokes is like, who ate my cheese? I mean, obviously I'd eaten it, but I did it mindlessly. I don't remember eating it, and then I don't feel satisfied. So yes. So my thought for you for tonight, and again, it can be just with food, or it can be in other areas of your life. Where are you going through day to day without really thinking about it? And you're like a robot. Where are you allowing, do you think, either preconceived beliefs that maybe you should question? Um, is that really something true for you? Again, I'm going to keep it with food. We're told every day, milk is good for you. It's going to build strong bones. But there's a lot of people who can't have milk. So figuring out, are you one that can't, that hurts your body? Or are you one that your body really benefits from milk? So taking those mindful actions to say, hey, yeah, I realized I can have hard cheeses, but if I do a nice soft cheese, like a brie or anything like that, yeah, within 2 bites, I'm overly full, which doesn't make sense. So being really mindful about that. Um, let's see, what else did I want to say tonight? Um, the once once I figured this part out, and that I also respected the messages I got back, either, hey, my body told me I was pre-diabetic. And instead, I had to make this really, really, oh, it was hard. I wanted to be so mad at my body because how dare it not handle what I dealt it? It should just buck up and handle whatever I was dealing at it. Why should I have to be mindful of it? You know, what I really had to soul search and realize my body is always doing the best it can with what I do with it and what I feed it. And so, one of the hardest things, as when I was working through the pre-diabetes, was shame that I got out of control, anger at my body because it couldn't handle it. Um, and obviously, there was something wrong with me that I would allow this to happen to myself. So there was a lot of guilt and I look at photos of myself from back then and and I remember what it felt like to be inside of of me at that time. I also look back at photos, gosh, when I was, my kids were pretty young, and that time I was exercising out of anger, because I it didn't seem, whatever I ate, if I didn't exercise really, really, really hard every single day, I was not going to be perfect. And so I saw these photos, and I looked good on the outside, but in the inside, I was still so, um, you know, unhappy with who I was and blaming my body for it. So if you're struggling and if you have a chronic illness that is something based upon lifestyle, you know what? Wipe the slate clean. Be very mindful, wipe that slate clean. Say, hey, you know what? We just didn't know how to live in that environment we were in. Just wipe it clean, love that body you have, and say, okay, we're going to learn. I'm going to get mindful and I'm going to learn how to take care of you now. And also be willing to, in that process, be willing to make some mistakes, be willing to say it's okay. Um, if your mind is fighting you and says, but we've tried this before, we can't do this again, I'm done. Just say, you know what? I know we have not done it successfully yet, but I really want the opportunity to learn how to do it right now. And it gets your mind kind of thinking, okay, we're not going to do another diet. We're not going to do some crazy thing. We're just going to figure out, how to best reverse the chronic illness that we have given ourselves because of our lack of mindfulness. So, um, so with that, yes, if you have chronic illness, please, 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 just embrace that body now, love it, and make a decision to just be more aware. And that's the start. Okay, start to question where your food might be coming from, question why you're eating. Just start learning without judgment. Um, Put that whip away with spikes. Quit hitting yourself with it if you make a mistake. And uh, lastly, what happened for me when I finally started figuring this out, it got to be actually kind of fun, to hear and see and you know figure out how my body really thrives on what kind of food. And so when I turned it into a fun game, that made it a lot easier. So it took me I don't know if I was probably pre-diabetic for about, um, I'm guessing maybe a year before my diagnosis. And then it took me 3 years to get my blood sugar back under 100. And then it took me another bit of time to still figure out how to live my life without feeling like I was dieting anymore. So be willing to step into that learning experience and, step into the person that you can see yourself becoming, as a healthy, vibrant body. And mindfulness is everything to do with that. So saying goodbye to that mindless behavior is the biggest key. And so with that, it's 7:20. I've said all I've wanted to tell you for tonight. I hope you had a fabulous day. And gosh, we still have more of a week to go. You'll be hearing more from me here as the book launch continues. Again, it's next Tuesday. The book will be live on Amazon. And Ingrid and I actually will be going live together on Sunday. So I'll have some more info about that. So you'll finally get to meet her and hear her amazing Spanish accent. Anyway, so all right, everyone. Love to you. And keep that mindfulness going. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye. I got to learn how to turn that off. Okay, see you later.